Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm thrilled to bring you the fourth part of our HTML interview question series today. In the first three episodes, we have covered some of the basic interview questions related to HTML, including tags, attributes, structure of web page. Now, we are going to be moving to more advanced questions that will really put your HTML knowledge to the test. If you are preparing for an HTML interview or if you just want to brush up your skills, this video is definitely for you. I'll be breaking down each question step by step, providing examples and explanations along the way. So get ready to take your HTML knowledge to the next level. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you could stay updated with the latest videos. The very first question on today's list is: what are inline elements and block level elements in HTML? So, let us first cover what are block level elements. Block level elements are those that typically take up the full width of their parent container and create a new line after them. They are used to structure the layout of the web page. The examples of such elements include h1 to h6 headings, p tag, div, etc. Next, coming to inline elements. Inline elements, on the other hand, do not create a new line after them and are typically used for smaller pieces of content such as text or images that are within a block level element. Inline elements include elements such as a tag, image tag, and the span tag. It's important to note that the distinction between block level and inline elements can be overwritten by CSS. For example, you can make an inline element behave like a block level element by setting its display property to block, or maybe make a block level element behave like an inline element by setting its display property to inline. Moving on to the next question: why meta tags are used in HTML? Meta tags are used in HTML to provide metadata or additional information about a web page. These tags do not affect the appearance of the page but rather provide information that can be used by search engines, browsers, and other web services. Some common uses of meta tags include setting the character encoding of document with the charset attribute, describing the contents of page with a description tag, which is often used by search engines to display the summary of web page in search results. Next would be setting the viewport and other information for mobile devices with the viewport tag. Meta tags are included in the head section of an HTML document using the meta tag. They are important for SEO, that is search engine optimization, as they can improve the visibility and accessibility of a website in search engine results. Moving on to the next question, we have: what are forms and how do you create forms in HTML? So, in HTML, forms are used to collect user input such as text, selections, and buttons. They allow users to interact with the web page and provide data that can be submitted to a server for processing. To create a form in HTML, you need to use the form tag. The form tag is a container that encloses all the form elements such as text boxes, checkboxes, radio buttons, and buttons. Here's an example of a basic HTML form. As you can see in this example, we have created a form with three input fields: a text field for username, an email field for their email address, and a text area for their message. The form also has a submit button that the user can click to submit their input. The action attribute specifies the URL where the form data will be sent for processing, and the method attribute specifies the HTTP method used to send the data. For example, what is the HTTP method here? Get or post. When the user clicks the submit button, the form data is sent to specified URL. Overall, HTML forms are a powerful tool for creating and collecting user input and creating interactive web pages. What are different form input types? So, HTML provides a variety of input types that can be used in a form to collect different types of data from users. Some of the most commonly used input types are text input, used for single line text input such as names, addresses, or passwords. Email input, used for email addresses and has built in validation to ensure that the input is a valid email address. Password input, used for password and the input is masked to hide the entered characters. Checkbox, used for binary choices such as agreeing into terms and conditions or selecting multiple options. Radio buttons, used for mutually exclusive choices such as selecting a single option from a group. File upload, used for uploading files from the user's device. These are just a few examples of input types available in HTML forms. There are many other input types and attributes that can be used to customize the behavior and appearance of form elements. Moving on to the last question on today's list. What is the difference between input type button and button? Both input type button and button are the HTML elements used to create buttons on web page. However, there are some key differences between them. The input type button element is used as a self closing tag that creates a button with no default behavior. It requires a value attribute to specify the text displayed on the button. You can also use the onClick attribute to define the JavaScript function that will be executed when the button is clicked. You can check this example here. On the other hand, the button element is an open and close tag that creates a button with default behavior. It can contain text, HTML, or other elements and can be styled using CSS. The type attribute can be set to submit, reset, or button to define the behavior of button. You can see the example here. When the type attribute of button is set to submit, the button will submit the form data to the server when clicked. If the type is set to reset, it will reset the form fields to their default values. If the type is set to button, the button will have no default behavior similar to input type button. Overall, the main differences between input type button and button are their default behavior and syntax. That's all for today's video. If you have any doubts or questions, you can comment them below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such informative videos. Goodbye.